All right, all right. Hey, hey, guys, welcome back. Okay, this is part three of our epic adventure. So, if you didn't see part one and two, you definitely need to do that first. The free links are there in the description box. Otherwise, you're going to be lost in this one. And I really wanted to wrap this one up, but then I got to this impasse where I'm like, I'm not sure how to interpret this. And we're going back and forth a little bit. So it looked like our hermit person who is now been identified as actually having morphed into a queen of wands. She's made herself into someone who's incredibly intuitive, but also she has come across as a queen of wands a multitude of times. So we know that's her. That emperor is coming toward her, but so is a new king of pentacles. She, as what we saw, is that she's about to feel really amazing over the fact that she has these two options. She has a new love offer and she has an apology coming in from the person from the past. We've got the mermaid here that has two faces, and one is looking back at the mask of the skeleton of the past. She's got to decide what she wants moving forward in her future. And interestingly enough, it looked like she was going to be causing a lot of distress and grief to that emperor, because it looks like she was going to be saying no. She was going to be blocking the emperor. Now, the emperor is going to be settling in and knowing exactly why she's blocking them. Wherever the block card went, there it is. The only thing is, she's blocking them. And because there's a mannequin in front of this, and I had already spouted off about, like, I don't think that our hermit person would block somebody just to like get back at them. Otherwise, that wouldn't be a very mature thing, because they'd be getting back at themselves too. If in fact they still wanted the emperor, why reject what you want just to punish them? And yet, maybe that's not the reason that she's rejecting them, but this does say she's blocking them, but in a false way. And I say that because what she's blocking is her Two of Cups, which I think is the emperor, because she's saying, I deserve somebody better. I have a Two of Cups that either has to they should have wanted me, or there's something here about, like, she has a little bit of a mask that she's holding that's projecting just off her face as well. She is hiding how she really feels. She's going to say no to the emperor. And because we have the sun in the reverse, followed by the wheel of fortune, which is the fates, and then the seven of pentacles. And you notice how the seven of pentacles has the top of their head open, and there's like this little ballerina, like a music box, spinning and spinning. And this says, this is like the ultimate in, like, the sun and the moon in their marriage garb, right? The happiness, the clarity, the merging of the yin yang, the ideal couple, the complementary energy. I don't even know if she knows why she's going to say no to them. She's going to say no to the emperor for sure in this. And I was like, wow, okay, hold on. Because over time, as the fates are here and the fates unravel, and the fates kind of have to do with, like, the Morai, the three crone sisters in mythology that are responsible for kind of like humanity and the way we operate, right? So the one sister gives like the thread of life, and the other one kind of determines how it goes, and then the third one decides when to cut that thread, so when the end of life occurs. And it just kind of, to me, is looking like the wheel of fortune continues to turn, and as things change, we have passage of time, and with passage of time we have growth, and then we have a different mindset. And it's kind of like, I can't believe it, but I think that our character's head is going to be spinning, realizing that either A, they made the right choice, even if they made it initially for the wrong reason, like because they felt the need to protect themselves, even though they said, you were my Two of Cups, but there's no way I can be with you. And I don't really mean it, but I feel like I have to block you. I can't. So I have to keep covering part of the Two of Cups, because they're like she's a little nymph, so she got no clothes on, and he's part tree. It's a beautiful card. There's nothing wrong with nudity in my mind, but I'm not the one who runs the internet, so I can't show the card. But the fact that we do see her holding a mask, granted she's not wearing it, but she's peering through the mask of herself. She's saying, I have to make a choice for me. But this begs the question, is she really making the choice for herself, or is she making the choice to protect herself? Because this says, I'm protecting myself against my Two of Cups. The person that I, okay, and I got to show some of this card. There we go. It's almost like they didn't pick me. The Emperor didn't pick me. Now, I don't want to call it punishment, but it's like, let's see if they love me and long for me and wait for me as solid as an oak tree. And now I flit around and I'm the one who has all the attention. And would they really, what kind of a Two of Cups are they? Because before they called me in and then they dumped me to get back with an ex that was an illusion. So now it's their turn to wait. What goes around comes around. I don't think that this is intended to be punishment. I think it's protection. And the only reason I say that is because the fates are involved and because we see her not even clear on what she's doing. This choice isn't making her happy. So why is she making a choice that doesn't make her happy? And then we see her wearing a mask and kind of in a protective energy. I have to make a good choice for myself. The person, now they can wait for me. Oh, you love me, huh? But you pick somebody instead of me. Well, now you can see what it feels like. You be the one who can't forget me. You be the one who's solid and, stable and celibate and waiting for me. That's because it's kind of like, I don't know what else to say, but it's almost like it's the only way that this could ever maybe give them another chance at getting back together. I don't think things have to turn around. Things have to change is what this says. There has to be, even if this is like a destined connection, which is what this is hinting at, even though she's not saying yes to them. Let's see what happens with her and that King of Pentacles. What role does the King of Pentacles have in her life? Because I feel like she's about to, King of Cups. She's meant to be with this King of Cups as well. They're a loving individual. They maybe need attention from her. And they kind of came across as a little bit of a tragic character and someone that she's supposed to match up with, because I think she's going to treat them really well. And I think they're going to treat her really well. And they're not a player. And in fact, she may really help them, open their heart. And I think they're going to love each other. But then what does that mean? Page of Swords. And yet there's always this calling from somewhere out in the ether, probably the calling that, yes, but my actual Two of Cups is still out there. Okay, but wait a second. What happens with that King of Cups? I'm sorry, I know this is a very complicated story. The King of Cups, remember, is that same King of Pentacles. We have the Lovers and we have the Eight of Cups. You know what? It's so interesting. She's going to have a very meaningful, very sincere romance with the King of Cups. It's going to be real love there. And yet they're also still going to know when it's time for them to part ways. On one hand, she's going to play an integral role of helping the King of Pentacles when they've been kind of wounded, perhaps, or they've had some losses. She's really going to love them and they're really going to love her, but that's not her Two of Cups. Ironically, the Two of Cups is the Emperor. The Emperor didn't pick her in the past. They called her into their life and then they dropped her like a hot rock and they reconciled with an illusion of an ex. And then they realized the error of their way after probably a significant amount of time. And then they are determined they're coming back into her life, but she rejects them. I don't think that Emperor gets over her nor moves on because they knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. It's kind of like, I will wait for you forever until you pick me because I should have picked you in the first place. It's like it had to go this way. She had to go be with somebody else, just like they had to go finish something with someone else. I don't think this is about punishment, but I think the only way that she could maybe ever consider taking them back is if she actually were able to move forward and move away from them with someone else, and they stayed true and waited for her this time. They meaning the Emperor. But we'll double check that. I'm sorry, I know this is a convoluted story. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or ugly. I'm just saying it's a story we got. But her and that King of Pentacles, they actually do form a really beautiful bond. They form this King of Pentacles loves her, but I'm wondering if it's a love story where it's like we do love each other, but we're also friends. And there's some parts of us where we've both been wounded, we've both had people that didn't do right by us. We've healed each other. We've seen each other's fragility. We've seen each other wear masks and we know why. And I do love you and you love me, but we're not the end all be all for each other. And I think they shake hands and walk away as friends. With this Eight of Cups, they definitely leave each other because they say, babe, you know it's not me and I know it's not you. We both love somebody else or we're supposed to be with somebody else, even though I do love you. They both hear the calling. They both know that they're supposed to be with someone other than each other, but for this period of time, they were supposed to be together. It's an interesting winding path. So maybe she never needed to end up with them had her twin flame been available to her the way they should have been. But on the other hand, maybe not. Maybe it's just the way it all was supposed to go. So we see her merging her life, not choosing her twin flame, saying no to the emperor, and the emperor knows exactly why. And they know that they had that coming. They should have been rejected. And the amount of distress that they have, knowing that they've lost her to this King of Pentacles, who turns out to be a King of Cups, somebody who loves her very much, and she loves them. But over time, I don't know how long, but life changes again. Maybe this is quite a bit later. Maybe this is 7 months. Maybe this is 7 years down the road. Life changes again, and she can't quite believe it, but she's parting ways amicably and lovingly with that King of Cups. I feel like that'll be someone that she maintains a friendship with because she really wishes them well and vice versa. They part ways as lovers that cared about each other, but it's unraveled. And strangely, if there were hurt energy, if there were animosity, if there were any of those energies that made her feel like I have to protect myself from the person that should have been my Two of Cups, I even know that they were. I know that Emperor was supposed to be my person, but I cannot accept them. No part of me says that I can accept them back. I have to protect myself from them. She's changing her opinion about that, which is making her head spin. So tell me about the Emperor now. Where's the Emperor at by the time she's done in a relationship that she chooses? The Hermit. They have become her. Now, finally, they're both the same. You notice how we have these two mirroring each other? This Hermit card always makes me think of a twin flame energy, right? Because they're the mirrored energy. By the way, I don't believe in the mythology of the twin flame or the flim twain. That's not to challenge anyone or insult or say that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. I just don't believe in it. I don't like it. Then I have a bunch of reasons why. It doesn't matter what I think. I only say it because in my storytelling, I don't want to perpetuate ideas that I do not agree with, because I think there's some mixed up things within all of that. So let me frame it the way I look at the Two of Cups, the twin flames stuff. I just say a profound and meaningful relationship or bond. Okay. Now, in this case, they are becoming her. They have become the Hermit. They have become deeply intuitive. They have been, I'm going to say, kind of waiting on the other side of the sky for her. They've been waiting until she's ready to come back to them. I don't think that they've been with anybody else. If anything, they've grown a lot in this tree of life, and they've waited for her to come seeking them out. Before they came back to her and said, I messed things up. I went back to this person that was a total illusion, but it's you I love. And she said, I'm sorry, but I have to protect myself from you. I'm not accepting you back. Truth is, you played games with me. And they sit there and they know that they did that. We saw all that already in part 2. What's ironic is she now returns to them to discover that they have become her. They've sat and waited silently for her, which is very much that fits in with what we saw with the Justice card. We got the Four of Wands in the reverse, but the King of Wands in the reverse. What does this mean? Please don't tell me there's got to be part 4. Please, no. Please, let's get this wrapped up. What does this mean? Ace of Wands and then Knight of Swords sideways. It means that she didn't pick them in the past. She really did not. They have sat there and they may have thought, she'll never choose me. She doesn't want me anymore. They got into this idea, and they might have been very bitter for a while about this, discovering that when they came back to her, she chose a King of Pentacles who became that King of Cups. that this emperor has become the version of her that she used to be. They sat there silently and kind of bitterly thinking about what they've missed out on. She'll never see me as a match for her. And yet, I think they've continued to peek and spy and wonder how she is. She's the one they now carry a torch for. If she's coming back to them, they'll be there in a minute. They can't quite believe. They hear or sense somehow, probably because they're deeply intuitive, they sense that there's a change. I do think they spy on her. I think that they sense that there's a change. Something has happened in her life. And it's like, is it possible that maybe we get a chance? It's funny how they sense it. I don't know if she's going back to them or if she's like energetically like calling them saying, okay, try me again. Knock on my door again. Let me see. Does she send a message to them? 8 of Pentacles. Not immediately. But there's something here, like there's work being done in the cosmos. And remember, I don't know, I almost feel like they're going to get this energetic buzz because remember, they've become highly intuitive. They've become her. Their intuition is on point now. They've also done a little spying. They recognize that she's done with somebody else. She's done with that King of Pentacles. And even though they're like, I know she said she didn't want me, there's something that it feels like something's changing. Should I come forward? Got the Knight of Cups. She's actually going to be reaching out to them. She's going to contemplate it for a while first, maybe 8 days. And then she's going to go ahead and almost reach out. You notice she's like reviving or offering a cup to this ghostly figure that's, dead and gone, almost like the ghost, like offering a cup to bring them back into reality. I think she's going to reach out. I don't know what exactly she's going to say other than it's going to be kind, it's going to be loving. It may be something about 2 of Pentacles. It may be something about, looks like we did the same thing to each other, huh? You didn't choose me because you had to go back to an ex. Then I didn't choose you because I had to start something new with somebody different. But we both did the same thing, huh? 2 of Pentacles. Everything has balanced out. Interesting. So the big question, what happens for her and them? The Tower, everything changes from here. Big ego drop, big obstacle clearing. 3 of Swords, the heartbreak. So these 2 had a lot of pent-up pain between the 2 of them. They've been in pain without her. She was in deep pain because they chose someone instead of her. Queen of Swords in the reverse. And hurt feelings and anger. All of that is what's being dropped at last. 8 of Wands. And these 2 find each other again up in the sky. Big transformation here and a return. We have a bird and we have a butterfly. This has been a long road and a long story for these lovers to find each other to find the way back to each other. My only question was, did this really need to play out this way? Because this is the most annoying and crappy story I think ever. Only because I'm like, this could have all been avoided. Nobody needed to hurt each other like this if they had not done the things that they did. Do we have a message on that? Because I don't like this story. I'm not going to lie. This bugs the hell out of me. King of Swords with 4 hands. This was a person who was... King of Swords should be clear and decisive, but nobody has 4 hands. They played 2 different sets of books, meaning they were of 2 minds. Meaning they probably didn't know themselves, but they didn't know that. It was definitely a journey for someone to get themselves sorted out. I feel like this was a very confused individual. Maybe they had past life traumas that they had to deal with in this life, and that's why we have 2 sets of hands. So maybe it couldn't have gone any other way. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you, guys. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up. Bye.